a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday, October 14th, 2016. Welcome to Let's Talk Sports, our first show on the Radio Vision Network. If you tuned in early this morning, we talked about football, the Eagles, tough loss to Detroit on Sunday. We'll talk about that later on. Today we're going to preview the American League Championship Series. The Toronto Blue Jays will be taking on the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland tonight. Now, I really wanted Boston to go up against the Toronto Blue Jays in Big Papi's final postseason games, but Cleveland swept Boston 3-0. I really wanted Boston to go into the World Series and David Ortiz to get the World Series for the final time, but it didn't happen. I'm going to take Cleveland in 5 games. If they can win against Toronto, of course these two teams have met once before during the regular season. Toronto, they did very well in the season. Going up against Cleveland, they swept Texas. Josh Donaldson had a tremendous postseason. They will be looking forward to a 2016 postseason. Who will go on to the World Series? It's too early to tell, with Toronto and Cleveland battling it out tonight in Cleveland. Now let's talk about the National League Championship Series. The LA Dodgers and the Chicago Cubs at Wrigley Field tomorrow night. These two teams have met before during the season. The Chicago Cubs had a tremendous division series win against the Giants. Meanwhile, the Dodgers had a must-win series against the Nationals. The Dodgers went on to win on that Carlos Ruiz big hit in the division series. For the Cubs, Chris Bryant had a tremendous season, as with Chicago heading into tomorrow's matchup with Los Angeles in the National League Championship Series. We're down to 4 teams, with Chase Utley and Carlos Ruiz in the lineups. Hopefully with LA. If they can go on and beat the Cubs, they'll go on to the World Series. I'm going to try and say Cleveland and Los Angeles in Cleveland. This is a 2-3-2 format. The Mets, they are not in it. The Dodgers are in it against the Cubs. Heading into this, of course, I'm going to say the Dodgers will win in 4 games. They could sweep Chicago and Cleveland in 5 if Cleveland goes on to win against Toronto in Cleveland and at the Rogers Center. LA had a very great season, of course, with them battling the Giants in 2016. The Giants went on to go under the wild card and lost to the New York Mets. But tonight, Indians, Blue Jays, it's about to be serious. You got Edwin Encarnacion, Jose Bautista, Josh Donaldson. They have got to step up. And for Cleveland, they're home, and they're facing against a very tough opponent in the American League East. If Toronto has a chance to go on to the World Series, this will be their first time since 1993 when they took on the Philadelphia Phillies. And the Cubs are looking to end that drought. If they can win the World Series, in all their history, they will have an opportunity to win the World Series. So I'm going to say Cleveland and Chicago, or LA and Cleveland. Hopefully, we'll find out. Right now it's too early to tell, with Cleveland going home against Toronto and LA at Chicago. So we're going to be watching these games closely as we head into the American League Championship Series, which is going to be a great battle heading into tonight. So I want to wish all the teams the best of luck heading into the World Series. Maybe if the Indians can get an opportunity. They haven't been in the World Series since 1997 when they lost to the Florida Marlins. That was when Edgar Renteria gave up that game, came in with a game-winning hit. Not easy, but it will be hard if Cleveland comes in and beats Toronto. But for the Blue Jays, gotta step up. They want to step up and get some wins here. Can't get wins unless you get blanked. But for the Dodgers, got Utley, Ruiz. They can do it. If they went on to beat the Cubs, they will be heading on to the series. So we'll focus on tonight's game, Blue Jays, Indians in Cleveland. It's going to be a great game tonight in Cleveland. And then tomorrow afternoon in Cleveland, we will have a lot of fun with all of these games heading into the middle of October. Should be fun for the next couple of days. We'll see how Cleveland comes in and tries to pull it out. Will they win or will they go home? But it's too early to tell heading into tonight's battle in Cleveland. Of course, Dodgers and Cubs tomorrow night, and we'll see who will go on to the World Series, and we'll see which team will win 4 games in the Championship Series this week. And please do not go anywhere. We will be right back. We will recap Thursday Night Football with the Chargers winning against the Broncos, and we'll preview Week 6 and talk about it right after this message. So don't go anywhere.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to make a really great sub, this is what we do. It's what we've been doing. It's what we've always done. It's what we'll always do. So what are you doing? Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Today's show was brought to you by Alicia Kelly of White Horse RV Center in Williamstown, New Jersey. Alicia is your RV expert. Contact Alicia at alicia@whitehorserv.com or give her a call at 856-262-1717, extension 203. When you think of RV, think Alicia Kelly.
Today's show has been sponsored by Farmers Insurance in Voorhees, New Jersey. To protect your assets and the people you love, call Mike Skoranek, your local Farmers Insurance agent, at 856-336-2553.
We are farmers. Bum ba dum bum 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 bum.
Welcome back. If you come back to Let's Talk Sports on a Friday afternoon, now it's time to recap Thursday night's game between the Broncos and Chargers, an AFC West rivalry, and then we're going to preview the rest of Week 6. San Diego won 21-13. That game was in San Diego. These two teams will meet in 2 weeks from today, and they will be in Denver. Philip Rivers had a nice performance. Same with Trevor Siemian, who was back after the injury he had last time out. San Diego had a bounce-back feeling, of course, that tough loss to Oakland when that botched tying field goal that could have forced the game into overtime in Oakland. Denver played very well, suffered their first loss against the Atlanta Falcons last time out, and San Diego will have a very good schedule coming up. Of course, they'll play Denver, and then Tennessee coming up. And of course, Denver tried to rally back. They were trying to get back to make it a 4-point score, but our offensive holding called back because the touchdown was nullified, didn't count, and they had to settle for a field goal. They need a touchdown and 2 points to tie it up. That did not happen, so Denver loses 2 consecutive. 21-13 was the final. Let's talk the Eagles. Tough loss at Detroit. Carson Wentz did what he was supposed to do. He was trying to look for Nelson Aguilar. He got intercepted by Darius Slay, and the Eagles went on to suffer their first loss of the season. They are in Landover to take on the Redskins. 4-1 if they can win this game. Kirk Cousins, last time he faced the Eagles, they swept them in Landover and in Philadelphia. San Francisco hits the road, taking on the Buffalo Bills. They have lost 4 consecutive games. Of course, they lost because they won against LA, and then the losses came at Seattle, against the Dallas Cowboys, and then against the Cardinals. Buffalo comes in at 3-2, heading into the game. Of course, Chip Kelly only has 1 win. He is looking forward to being in Orchard Park. And with Buffalo, a 2-3 record can be okay, but it's a 3-2 record. But Buffalo is heading on back, heading into Sunday's game against the 49ers in Orchard Park. The Cleveland Browns have yet to get their first win of the year as they take on the Tennessee Titans in Nashville. Of course, these two teams met last year in Week 2. Cleveland is yet to win. Tennessee is 2-3. They can bounce back. If they can go 3-3 and send Cleveland their 6th loss of the season. Or can Cleveland snap their 5-game losing streak and get the win against these Titans? Joe Flacco will make his return to New Jersey. He takes on Eli Manning and the New York Giants. The Giants are 2-3. Baltimore is 3-2. If the Giants lose, they go to 2-4. Baltimore at 3-2, they can come and play very hard if they want to beat the New York Giants on Sunday. NFC South Showdown, Drew Brees and the Saints takes on Derek Anderson and the Panthers. Cam Newton suffered an injury at Atlanta 2 weeks ago. The Saints and Panthers, NFC South rivalry, should be very easy to do with Carolina coming in. Next time when these two teams met, they will meet the Thursday before Thanksgiving. Carolina has lost 4 straight. Let's see if they can bounce back. The Jacksonville Jaguars go into Chicago to take on the Chicago Bears in Chicago. Last time these two teams met, Jacksonville suffered a big loss in Jacksonville. Chicago is 1-4, Jacksonville is 1-3. Which teams will get their second win of the 2016 season? The LA Rams will take on the Detroit Lions. That game at Ford Field in Detroit. Of course, last time these two teams met was last year, Week 14 of the 2015 season, when they were the St. Louis Rams. Detroit comes in with a record of 2-3. come from behind win against Philadelphia. Of course, Philly didn't do what they were supposed to do, drive downfield, and they got intercepted. LA comes in with 3-2. They are playing very well since moving to Los Angeles. They're playing well heading into the season. Pittsburgh has won 4 consecutive. They defeated the Jets in their throwback uniforms. Miami is 1-4. They're playing at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami. Hopefully, Pittsburgh comes in and wins. Hopefully, they can lose, but Miami's 1-4. Hopefully, they can break their 4-game losing streak. The New England Patriots have Tom Brady back in the big win against Cleveland. They will be taking on the Cincinnati Bengals in Foxborough. Patriots went 3-1 without Tom Brady, with wins at Arizona, and then went on to win 2 more, and then the loss against Buffalo. And before the Buffalo-New England game, these 2 teams were fighting before the game started. They are AFC East rivalries, can't fight. And of course, New England at 4-1, Cincinnati comes in at 2-3. New England looking for their 5th win of the season. The Oakland Raiders are playing very well. They will be taking on the Kansas City Chiefs in Oakland. Oakland looking for their 5th straight win. They held on to win 34-31. Kansas City is looking to bounce back at 2-2, looking for their 3rd win. Now, a rematch of last year's matchup between Dallas and Green Bay. The Dez Bryant catch, no catch call. That game at Lambeau Field. Aaron Rodgers is looking for his 4th win of the year, and Dallas is looking for their 5th win. But Dallas has to lose on Sunday at Green Bay. And that way Philadelphia can win. If they win at Washington and Dallas loses at Green Bay, Philly goes up. Other matchups, Atlanta taking on Seattle in Seattle. Falcons are 4-1. They are playing very well in the 2016 campaign. They went into Seattle. Last time they met was in 2011, and they met in 2013. Atlanta won in Seattle. Last time they met, it was 30-28. Sunday night, Colts, Texans, AFC South showdown. I know Andrew Luck and the Colts are doing very well. Their record is 2-3. Houston is 3-2, heading into the month of October. And after Houston finishes it with Indy, they'll go on the road to take on the Denver Broncos on Monday Night Football. Meanwhile, Indianapolis goes to Tennessee. Indianapolis, 2-3. Houston, 3-2. Both rivalries of the AFC South on Sunday night. And Monday night, the Jets are looking to bounce back and break that losing streak as they take on the Arizona Cardinals. Arizona came away with a big win on Thursday night against the 49ers. Meanwhile, the Jets are 1-4. They are really having a hard time to start the season. They lost to Cincinnati on a game-winning field goal, a win at Buffalo, and then the 3 straight losses at Kansas City, Seattle, and at Pittsburgh. The second of back-to-back road trips for the Jets before they return home, as they will take on the Baltimore Ravens next week. Hopefully the Jets will break their losing streak as we head into next week. Jets will try to win, but I'm going to pick Arizona to win over the Jets. If the Jets keep forcing too many turnovers, the turnovers have got to come to an end. You cannot force these too many turnovers in a lot of games as they can. That is your football update. We'll recap it all next week. And please do not go anywhere. We'll be right back. We'll talk hockey. The Flyers play their first game in Los Angeles. We'll talk about it and the rest of their schedule after this break.
Today's show is sponsored by Hargrove Demolition, your demolition experts. Hargrove is a family-owned and operated business right here in the southern New Jersey area, bringing you 45 years of demolition expertise. Hargrove has all your demolition needs, from emergency demolition service to demolition equipment rental. Hargrove is one of the state-approved recycling facilities right here in the southern New Jersey area. No job is too big or too small for Hargrove Demolition. Contact them today at one of their 3 locations.
When it's time for Jersey Mike's to give a sub some sizzle, this is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for? You want to live fast? You want to make every second count? Then grab the family. Round up the guys. Speed Raceway is 100,000 square feet of excitement, whether you're a kid or a kid at heart. Speed Raceway is the place for endless fun all summer long. Log on to speedraceway.com or just get here now.
When we make Beyond Natural dry dog and cat foods, we start with real meat as the first ingredient. We leave out corn, wheat, and soy. And we own where our dry food is made. 100%. Can other brands say all that? For nutrition you can trust and your pet will enjoy. Does your food go beyond? Learn more at PurinaBeyond.com.
Extra Innings is the nation's premier indoor baseball and softball training center, featuring indoor batting cages, 7 multi-use tunnels, and training rooms. Extra Innings can provide professional instruction, private and group lessons, and the best year-round clinics. Along with a nationally recognized pro shop that features the latest and widest selection of equipment and apparel, our experienced staff can provide you with the right instruction and help you find the best equipment for your ability and budget. Extra Innings, where the game never ends.
Today's show has been sponsored by More Than Gifts. Come see our new location in Marlton, New Jersey. Not just gifts, but more.
And welcome back. Let's talk some hockey. The Flyers are playing tonight. They'll be in Southern California to start the season. And then they'll go on the road to take on the Arizona Coyotes in Arizona. And then on the road at Chicago to close out their 3-game opening road trip. Their home opener is not until next Thursday as they play the Anaheim Ducks, and these two teams will meet on New Year's Day. The Flyers came away with 41 wins last year and ended up losing to the Capitals, the Washington Capitals and the Philadelphia Flyers. In Game 3 last year, fans were throwing bracelets on the ice, and you cannot throw them. That's totally not acceptable. They were doing this to a tribute of Ed Snyder. That's pretty dangerous. Somebody could get hurt. They can be sent anywhere. But you cannot throw anything on the ice, and hopefully we will not see anything like that this year. The Flyers' schedule is going to be pretty difficult. I'm going to say they're going to win 42 games. 1 win from last year. It's going to be not easy. But you have to go travel to West Coast games like Los Angeles, Arizona. You're going to go to Anaheim later in the season. You've got the Rangers. And then you got to go to Carolina. You've got teams in your division. You got the Islanders, the Penguins, the Pennsylvania rivalry. Philadelphia can improve with 41 or 42 wins and hopefully earn some more points. Hopefully 90, maybe 95, a chance to go into the postseason. They were eliminated last year when they took on the Capitals. Just couldn't get the job done heading into the next round. There will be a rematch with Washington and Philadelphia later on in the season. But they just could not go on to the next round and go on to the Stanley Cup. It's going to be a while once the season heads on. And then you're going to have to go to Canada. You're going to face Winnipeg, the Senators. And then you got the Islanders, because last time these two teams met, they played a makeup game, which was due to the massive snowstorm last year in 2016. That forced the game to move to April 10th. And that's when the Flyers won. And then they will take on the Flames later on during Thanksgiving weekend. And then on the road, then you got Boston later on. And then a West Coast trip from the end of 2016 to the beginning of New Year's Day at San Jose and at Anaheim. And then holiday time comes. You've got New Jersey. You go to St. Louis. Flyers have got a tough schedule ahead of them, a tough road trip. You go north of the border. You play the Canucks twice. You play the Oilers twice at the new place. You got to go to Ottawa. You go to Toronto, of course. You play Toronto and Ottawa at home, with Ottawa coming in, heading into the season. Plus, you face Colorado twice, with Philadelphia. One in Denver, one in Philly. Flyers can earn a spot. They have to win a lot of games, play hard, and not forced to go into the penalty box too much. It was pretty hard for Philly to come in on the road, or you're at home. Then you got to start winning some games. Earn a spot in the postseason this year, go to the Stanley Cup, and then you have an opportunity. About 41 wins to 42 wins should be pretty easy for Philly. It's some tough road trip games as we head into tonight's game at Los Angeles at the Staples Center. And of course, these two will meet later, including Arizona. They'll play Arizona twice this month, and then Chicago twice later on. And then you play Anaheim next week, and then you play Anaheim New Year's Day, which is going to be pretty hard heading into that stretch of schedule. And of course, with Philly, they'll play Detroit. They got the Islanders. And then you play Minnesota twice in Philly and then back in the Twin Cities. Now, Philadelphia has a lot of work to cover. They got new players. They've been practicing very well in the preseason. And now you're going to have to face some really tough stuff. Tough teams. You got to face some tough teams, tough challenges, and their offense have got to regroup. And hopefully the goalies can save a lot of pucks. Shutouts, I'll say about like 10 or 11 this year for the Flyers, but it's going to be not easy because goalies can't stop, can't get shutouts all the time, can't get blanked. Gotta stop those good players once they head into the games. Of course, their home opener at the Wells Fargo Center is October 20th against the Ducks, and their last game of the season will be Sunday, April 9th, as they will take on the Carolina Hurricanes. They will play Carolina this month. It's going to be pretty hard. 2 at home, 2 in Raleigh. Carolina, Philadelphia. And of course, going through this month, they go on the road at Montreal, then they're home against Buffalo. The Canadiens, not an easy schedule to do. And then Buffalo, that's a home schedule. Of course, that's upcoming, and then they'll play Pittsburgh. Of course, Pittsburgh had a very tough time last year. Making it to the postseason, just couldn't come away with it. As for the Flyers, they have to score some goals and win a lot of games. But it will not be easy once we head into October. Once we head into November, same thing. You got to play hard. You can't have any penalties. You can't fight in a hockey game. That means players could get hurt, and then you have to sit in the box for 5 minutes. And then you're going to get yourself into a lot of trouble with these suspensions, and you don't want to be suspended for many games. You know, getting many games being suspended doesn't get you anywhere heading into the season. Not easy, but the Flyers can do it heading into the season, which starts tonight for them. They can win their first game, but if they lose, it's only early in the season. Of course, we got a lot of hockey to go through, and then we'll have some fun heading into Sunday, heading into Saturday at Arizona in Phoenix. Going to be a tough battle, even though Philadelphia can win the first 2 games on the road. And then they will close it out on the road at Chicago at the United Center to take on the Blackhawks. Of course, these two teams met in the postseason. Philadelphia just could not come away with the Stanley Cup win against the games, of course. I'll say they'll go 2-1 on the road. But shootouts, I'm going to say they'll play like 3 shootouts this year, or maybe 4, depending on how well they do. Because the new rules is if the game ends in a tie, they have to decide in a shootout. You have games ending in a tie, but not anymore. So if the game ends after overtime, we go to a shootout to determine the winner. One team gets 2, the other gets 1. I want to wish the Flyers the best of luck in 2016, 2017. Let's get some wins this season. And as we recap it all, we talked about the American League Championship Series. The game starts tonight between Toronto and Cleveland. Good luck to those 2 teams, and good luck to LA and Chicago. That game in Chicago, we'll recap it all next week. We talked a lot about football. The Eagles, tough loss at Detroit. Can they come away with a win at Washington before heading on home to take on the undefeated Minnesota Vikings, who are on a bye this week? And same with Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers are off this week. Tampa Bay will go to San Francisco. Meanwhile, Philly will head on home to play Minnesota. So enjoy Week 6 of the NFL. That's not going to be easy. Enjoy the Eagles, the rest of the football action. We'll have a lot of fun with that. And enjoy the hockey season. We talked about it. Enjoy it while you can. Flyers, we'll wish them the best of luck. Hopefully, they'll play and win some games. We'll be back on the air next week. We'll talk more sports and see what's going on around the NFL next week as we head into Week 7. Well, that is it. Thanks for joining us on the Radio Vision Network. Enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon.
Sub some sizzle. This is the way. The way it's always been. The way it always should be. The way it always will be. Because that's just the way it's supposed to be. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Simply Gents, located in Marlton, New Jersey, takes care of all your grooming needs, including haircuts, straight razor shaves, massages, facial, manicures, pedicures, and waxing. To find more information or book an appointment, visit us online at www.simplygents.com. The secret weapon of a well-groomed man, Simply Gents.
If you haven't been to Speed Raceway, what are you waiting for?